This video, produced by World Coffee Research, is part of a 5-part series supporting the Uganda Coffee Development Authority's Clonal Robusta Coffee Nursery Manual for establishment of Clonal coffee nurseries. Throughout all the various stages of development in the nurseries, trees will be exposed to pests or diseases. It is very important for the nursery operator to learn how to correctly identify the symptoms of pests and diseases so you can create a plan to reduce the presence of them in the nursery. The major pests that impact Robusta coffee in a Clonal nursery include the coffee mealbug, coffee leaf miner, coffee leaf skeletonizer, black coffee tag borer, tailed caterpillar, termites, green coffee scale, and aphids. Here are the main symptoms and signs used to identify each pest. Mealbugs are small sucking insects about 3 mm long that appear on coffee leaves in form of white masses, often accompanied by a sooty mold. In nurseries, mealbugs usually form a mass of many insects identifiable by a white mealy and waxy cover, usually found on the underside of tender leaves. They may also be found on young roots near the base of the main root. Mealbugs feed by sucking sap from young shoots, leaves, flower buds, berries, and roots, resulting into yellowing and defoliation of plants. While sucking, they produce a honeydew excreta which attracts attendant ants that protect them from natural enemies. The excreta attracts a black fungal mold. The mold covers the leaves, thereby interfering with the photosynthesis process of young leaves. Mealbugs are generally more of a problem in the dry season when the water levels are low. The coffee leaf miner larvae bore into the leaf and feed on leaf tissues between the lower and upper surfaces. If the mines are open, the larvae can be seen. Feeding causes large brown irregular blotches on the leaf, leading to premature shedding of leaves, and infested leaves can be recognized by the presence of these spots on the upper surface of the leaves. Rubbing the spot or bending the leaf across the spot typically results into separation of the epidermis and the exposure in fresh mines of small white caterpillars. The coffee leaf skeletonizer is a larvae that feed on the upper leaf surface, leaving veins and upper epidermis to create a window or irregular patches on the leaves. The caterpillars feed on the undersurfaces of the leaves, usually close to the mildew. Skeletonizer attacks on Robusta coffee in the nursery are typically mild, but in the field, serious outbreaks may occur, especially on coffee farms close to natural forests. The tailed caterpillar occurs occasionally in large numbers and can cause defoliation of coffee in a nursery environment. The larvae have large heads and a characteristic tail-like appendage on their rear, hence the name. Larvae feed on leaf lamina, sometimes causing serious defoliation. Coffee scale is a common and serious problem in nurseries. Scales suck the plant sap, resulting in reduced growth of suckers. Nursery and young trees are weakened by coffee scale attacks, and the leaves generally turn yellow. The scale produces honeydew as it feeds on plant sap, and it's excreted in large amounts onto the foliage. Honeydew contains sugary substances favored by sooty mold fungi, and their growth turns leaves and stems black. The scales are attended by ants that are attracted to the honeydew. The adult scale insect is of a glossy pale green color with black internal markings that are visible through the body wall. They are only 3 mm long. The front end of the insect is rounded, while the rear end has a distinctive groove. Adults retain their legs and antennae, but most remain sedentary. The nymphs are a flattish oval shape, yellowish green in color, with 6 short legs. Aphids may occur in large numbers on new coffee shoots in the nurseries, especially in the rainy season. They occur in large numbers of small black insects, 2 to 3 millimeters long, which concentrate their feeding activities on new shoots. Aphids suck sap from shoots and cause damage to them. Infested shoots are often associated with black sooty mold. The main diseases that impact Robusta coffee in a clonal nursery are damping off and brown eye spot disease. Here are the main symptoms and signs used to identify each disease. Damping off severely affects coffee plantlets in nurseries. It is caused by a combination of soil-inhabiting fungi such as Rhizoctonia solanae and Pythium species. Factors that predispose plants to damping off attack include overwatering, overshading, and acid soil. This disease is most severe when the soil is too wet and when weather is damp or cloudy with no sunshine, and it is accelerated by too much exposure to shade or insufficient drying of soil. Damping off results in the rotting of stem and root tissues at and or below the soil surface. The pathogen survives in the soil in form of sclerotia, which is the source of primary inoculum, and it's spread by means of wind, water, or soil movement between the plants. Damping off disease is more common in plantlets grown from seed compared to the ones propagated by clones. Brown eye spot disease is a fungal disease that occurs on coffee plantlet leaves when they are under stress. The fungus can develop both in seed beds and after plantlets have been transplanted in polypot bags. It is the most common nursery disease and occurs when the soil is too wet and or there is too much shade. Lack of air movement, nitrogen, and potassium are factors that favor this disease and its spread. The first sign of infection is the appearance of brown spots on leaves that gradually expand with reddish-brown margin. The spots appear on both sides of the leaf, and when they are widespread, leaves appear to have been burnt. To learn more about the establishment of clonal coffee nurseries, you can consult the Clonal Robusta Coffee Nursery Manual from UCDA. Remember, pest and disease control is dynamic. You should be able to identify the symptoms of each and combine recommended methods for effective control, which you can find by consulting the manual from UCDA.